Allison is back with us. Hey, welcome to Talking Tech. I'm your emerging services and technology librarian, Sean Walsh, and I forgot my last name for a second there. It's been a day.
Imagine the days that you forget your last name.
Yeah, it's been a day, man.
Those are the long days.
And with me is
I'm Charlie. I'm the Guiding Ohio Online Learning Coach here at the Public Library.
And behind the camera, back in the driver's seat here is
Allison. Hi.
And Allison is our page and video editing extraordinaire. She's the one who puts all of our videos together. And she's also our cross-country star, too.
Oh my God, no.
Yeah, you are.
No.
Yeah, you are. Well, you're the only one of us that ran. Come on. So there you go. There you go. Hey, we're live, and this is Talking Tech. And so we're going to talk about some technology stories. Feel free to join us in chat. Ask your technology questions. We love to answer those. I know I got some stories. Charlie's got some stories. Allison's got some stories.
I'm currently looking at stories.
Charlie's looking for more stories.
Because I haven't looked at
We've got
news
stories
for like
everywhere.
a week. Okay.
Stories everywhere. So we're ready to go out there. All right. And apparently Facebook is losing its ever-loving mind and I can't share a post. So, hey,
why don't we start with that?
I'm going to start with that. So actually, that's my opening story is, hey, if you're on Instagram, did you notice you couldn't log in or you were told your account was suspended? Wasn't that fun? So Instagram had some major kerfuffles. And Instagram, if you don't know, is actually part of Facebook. It's actually part of Meta. I don't know all of what happened. It's still evolving because people still can't get in. I know some people I know and some of the library accounts are still having a little trouble logging in here and there. At first, you couldn't log in with mobile, and now most people are getting in with mobile, but then you're not getting responses. Like Allison said, you posted something and it wasn't giving you like feedback.
I did. It was being a little funky.
Yeah. Some people can't log in if you use PC for certain things. I know Instagram's a mobile app. Why would you use PC? It's easier to get stats and stuff. That's what I use it a lot for. So I'll log in to get stats from a PC. I still can't log into some of my accounts. So that's rather annoying, frankly. So hey, shout out. So we've got a bunch of people watching. Hey, gotta love that. And Instagram is just still a giant mess.
Well,
still a giant mess.
It's the Instagram ever since, they did all the really cool, like dark mode and stuff. They've had issues.
Kind of went downhill.
Always had issues. Yeah.
So I don't know. It's because Instagram and Facebook are tied together, I can see issues with Facebook just not working. How about that? I'm literally trying to write a post and it's like losing its mind. So I'm going to post and edit it later. So we are live there. So Charlie, what do you got for your first story?
Let's see. What is there that is cool? Let's see. So I guess we could talk about the most recent thing that I have on here. So we all know the iPhone, how it started in 2007 for the most part.
I was there.
Yes,
I was there.
I think most of us were there, except I was too young to understand technology at that point. So
I get to have my moment. I was there.
So
yeah,
let's say you found a sealed iPhone in your attic, right?
Oh yeah.
In the box.
Okay.
Not gone. How much do you think that went for? How much do you think it would go for? How much?
So new in box iPhone.
Yes.
New in box iPhone, and we talked about this, but I totally forgot the price you told me, so I get to guess again.
I'm just gonna cover the screen.
No, I won't even look. I won't look your way.
Fine. Yeah.
New in box iPhone. I'm gonna say something ridiculous, like like $50,000. What do you think, Allison? Do you remember what it was?
Oh, I don't know. Considering that in 2007 I was like 1.
You were there though.
I was there.
You were there.
I mean, it's probably not too much. I expect because it's still fairly recent in the span of technology.
But if we're talking
that
about
span of technology, that's like eons.
But we're talking like one of the first smartphones.
First, it was the smartphone. Because it was the only smartphone.
Apple was the first one to really come out with a smartphone. I remember this being in the Verizon store in Menor, standing there when my parents were waiting to get their phones set up, and I'm sitting there playing on the display phone that they had with the
Getting in trouble
arcade
playing on the
open.
display phone. Huh?
Yeah, exactly. Playing the original Angry Birds on that little phone.
Now, if you had a phone with Angry Birds, oh
No, Flappy Bird.
Flappy
It's
Bird.
Flappy
sorry.
Bird.
Flappy Bird.
Flappy
You said
Bird.
Angry Bird.
iPods that have the actual downloaded version of Flappy Bird
Yeah.
are going anywhere from like 1.2 mil or something like
Yeah,
that.
they're
now.
crazy.
Yeah, it's like crazy.
Yeah.
But so now,
All right, so what's it
now,
going
now
for?
see this thing with not having
wow.
Flappy Bird on it, but it's sealed in the box
sealed in the box
for
in the
Apple
box.
history. Okay, it's Apple history being
Yeah.
made. Okay,
So without Flappy Bird.
without Flappy Bird, $39,000.
So I was over.
Brand new car. Brand new car. Actually, you know what? Cheaper than a brand new car.
Cheaper than a brand new car at this point. 'cause I was
Nowadays.
looking at cars.
Now, I will say the bidding started at $2,500.
Okay.
So it started. The lowest it started was $2,500.
That's what I was going to say.
Okay.
Like somewhere around
So you're saying like only thousands of dollars. Well, it's still thousands of
It's
dollars.
still
either way.
thousands, but
But like,
tens of thousands.
yeah, this is tens of thousands of
Yeah.
dollars for one.
So I was
one
going 50,
original iPhone.
and that's 39, so it's basically 40. So I was only about 10, 11 off.
Yeah,
I
you're
was
about
11 off.
11,000 off.
That's not bad.
But still, it's like
It is our
brand
history.
new iPhone, sealed in the box. You could open it for the first time if you never had the chance to open an iPhone box.
Yeah. And you know what? And
You know,
so I do enjoy the experience of opening an Apple product because they kind of make it an experience. You know, it has different layers and things to pull out. But then there's a part of me who always goes, man, that's a lot of packaging for no good reason.
Mhm.
I mean, I fight between the marketing part of me going, oh, this is so cool. They made this this unboxing experience. And then there's part of me going, 99% of this box is little pieces of paper to hold up the phone. It's nothing else is in here. Especially when they stop giving you like charging
with the charging
cables.
blocks. Well, no,
Blocks.
like my Pixel still came with a charging cable. It didn't come with a block.
Yeah.
It didn't come with a charging
I think they're
block.
assuming now that you're providing your own block.
Well, now that the standard, which thank you UK or whoever it was,
EU.
the EU for like not backing down on the whole lightning cable thing,
Yeah.
but like Type C
Type-C is the way to
is
go.
the way to go for
Way
right
to
now. So
go.
now that the standard has gone to Type C, I think we're gonna see a lot more of those kind of like you have to provide your cable. Oh well, I already have one.
Yeah.
Or you can go to Walmart and buy them for like $20 or
exactly.
like not even $20. Like you,
You
can
can buy
buy them
the
for
nice
like
braided
$5.
cables because I like the
Oh,
braided
yeah.
cables. That's kind of my thing.
Oh yeah. Go to the local Marks and get like the $3 cables.
Get 10 of them.
Yeah,
Smart.
exactly.
So that's cool. That's cool. I mean, you know, we were just talking before we went live about, you know, the very first iPod because the place I worked at, we invested in a couple of iPods, very early ones, and I mean they were very tactile. You know,
Oh, yeah.
everything moved
Yeah,
and stuff. It was very cool. You know, those are just fun. I
Well,
know
so-
the iPod that I currently use
Mhm.
is super desirable because it's a 120 gig iPod, regular
Because
iPod.
it had the big amount of storage.
It had tons of storage. You know, it was not a iPod. It was a regular iPod, so
Yeah.
it wasn't. It didn't have any apps or anything. It just literally was just music
That was
storage.
it. That was it.
Yeah, people want like hundreds and hundreds of dollars for those,
For those iPods.
used.
Oh yeah.
Used. So yeah, I still use mine. I use my phone and I use the iPod because I have my glorious drive some days up Interstate 11 with
Mhm.
nothing entertaining me.
I'd say it's like how I have my sister's old iPhone and I'm just there using it for Apple Arcade.
Yeah,
90% of the time.
exactly.
That's all I use
Yeah.
it for. I don't use it to make calls or text or anything. I
Yeah.
just use it for the glory of having an iPhone and
Glory of having
some of
one.
my other friends mostly having iPhones.
Yeah, well, it sometimes helps.
Yeah.
So the kind of tying into that is another story. So our friends at the EU, hey, they're back.
Another
again.
EU? Okay.
Another EU.
All right.
So now that they've kind of conquered, like we're all going to have the same charging cable, which I kind of appreciate. Don't get we've already waxed nostalgic.
Oh
on that.
yeah, oh yeah.
They're talking about interoperability of apps and platforms.
Oh.
So
So they're saying if Apple only has this app, Apple can't just have this app anymore.
more like if Apple has this app, that's fine, but you can develop something that'll tie into this app. So think about like let's try to think of something proprietary. Well, let's just use Zoom. Zoom would be fun. So let's just use Zoom.
Yes.
Okay. It's proprietary. You
Yeah.
have to have Zoom to use Zoom,
Mhm.
right? Well, what they're saying is, in this instance, you're allowed to tie your client into Zoom. So it would be like Skype being able to talk to Zoom.
Oh, okay. So,
So
like more like
Microsoft would have the interoperability to
connect
from
via
Skype
Zoom.
to Zoom.
Okay.
So what they're trying to get at is we have a universal system right now. It's a phone call, right?
Yeah.
I can call whatever carrier Allison's on. I can send Allison a text message, or I can send a text message to call you. I don't have to be on the same network. You all don't have to be on Verizon, and I don't have to be on Sprint or T-Mobile or
Yeah.
whatever you guys are on at AT&T. Okay, that's interoperable. What they're trying to get at is they're saying, okay, we're going to start locking these things down as people won't make phone calls, and
Yeah.
these will get a little more, sequestered per se under a carrier or under a company. What they're saying is, you know what, we got to work on some sort of interoperability. You have to offer the ability for someone to communicate. So I kind of like this. So it would be like, what's the Apple voice chat?
Oh, FaceTime.
FaceTime. Thank you. Just escaped me right there. So Skype would be able to talk to FaceTime, and Zoom would be able to talk to FaceTime. Okay.
And
So
then they'd be able to talk to Google Duo.
and they'd be able to talk to Google Duo. Yes. So they're talking about that. It's real early on, but I can see this going somewhere that actually is very useful. Because I can remember sitting on when chat was like initially coming out. You had MSN Messenger, you had Instant Messenger from AOL, you had IRC,
Mhm.
you had a whole plethora.
Oh yeah.
Okay. And they were all their own little contained networks. And so like someone like me would load something like Trillion or some of the other programs that I would have one interface and have, here's my MSN people, here's my Instant Messenger people, here's my IRC people, here's my, I can't think of, there was another chat thing I had to use because someone was on it. Nowadays it'd be like, oh, I have
Yeah.
Discord hooked into there too. And I had to live that way for a while with chat because of, like everybody was in their little spots. And then texting kind of came out and killed that. Because, you sort of could text fake with a pager or whatever, but real texting came out.
I still kind of pull
that.
like the whole thing of like with Messenger, like, you could do your SMS and Facebook messages through Messenger, similar thing.
Yeah.
And it's just all tied to one thing,
Mm-hmm.
but not as
Yeah.
widespread of connectivity as yours used to.
Yeah. Trillion was pretty. Trillion's still around because I still have an IRC chat handle because I'm old. So that's kind of cool. So kind of running back around with the EU. So how about this? We're gonna pan over to. We won't pan because we can't turn the camera, but we're gonna switch over to Allison because she brought a story tonight.
I only have one.
Well, that's okay.
So this is all you get to hear.
That's all you get. It's all you get is one.
Yes.
Disembodied voice, Allison.
Yes. So, my Spanish teacher actually told me about this. So Duolingo, as many of you know, is a language learning app, helpful, French, Spanish, whatever.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yes. They created Duo Math a little while back this year,
Mhm.
and it doesn't go to like super advanced, like
Like
I don't
trig or
think
calc.
I don't think it goes past Algebra 1.
That's a lot there.
It's it's Algebra 1, so it's okay. But I was reading an article on it, and it said how it's a lot like the language learning app. It uses a lot of the same features.
Mm-hmm.
The study guide, the path that you have to take is the same. And it also says, this little quote from the article, if you don't study as often as you should, you get a passive-aggressive notification from the cubic bird of prey, meaning the little duo bird. I think that the duo bird's little messages that he sends you are by far the best feature of the app.
Oh yeah, it's utterly brilliant. That app is very, very smart. There's a couple things because you're interested in psychology.
Yeah.
There's a lot of educational psychology behind Duolingo.
Yeah.
And there's also a lot of psychology, marketing psychology, and other psychology behind it for that silly bird telling me that I haven't messed with Duolingo for a while.
Yeah, I find it really ominous and threatening, when I get a text at 11:59 at night saying, "Hey, you didn't do your Spanish yet today.
Yeah, I
You
know.
know what happens next."
Yeah. I'm from
Sorry.
I've watched Goodfellas and The Godfather. It sounds like the Duolingo bird and the Flappy Bird and the birds from Angry Birds will all get together and like force you to do
They're all
Spanish.
coming for you.
They threaten of being pecked to death.
And I have Angry Birds on my phone too, so they could easily like
They could team up and get you.
give me like
They
a
could team up.
Ralph.
There's a nightmare waiting to happen right there. But yeah, that's really cool because learning a language is hard. We all know that. And learning math for some people is incredibly hard. I'm a person who enjoys math. I mean,
Yeah.
not like I wanted to make a career out of it. Oh, I sort of did because I do computer stuff and I write code, but not that I wanted to like do like a career and be a math professor or whatever. But I appreciate that the math is hard for some people. I mean, there are certain types of math that I struggled with in school. It was very difficult for me. So having any tool that actually helps, it's fun. That's why I feel like Duolingo is kind of fun.
Oh yeah,
So.
it definitely appeals to like younger audiences,
Mhm.
which is why like the math isn't really that hard either.
Well, yeah, I
And
mean,
it also like helps even people that use other different types of like numbers,
Mhm.
like different scripts.
Mhm.
That helps too.
Yeah,
'cause they're
yeah.
trying to learn.
Oh,
English,
absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, not everybody uses there are other number systems. Most people don't know that aside from the Arabic numbers that we're used to, there are other number systems out there that people do use. So some of the ones for counting that are over in Asia and stuff or like squares and stuff. It's fascinating.
Mhm.
Like really cool. So what do you got, Charlie? So by the
Let's
way,
see.
thank you, Allison. That's awesome. So forgot to
So-
say thank you.
Audio Technica.
Audio Technica. We love
All-
their stuff.
All of their fun audio equipment. And
Yeah, they always
things
have
and-
weird stuff.
Well, let's say they're bringing back a 1980s weirdity or oddity, I should say,
Mm-hmm.
in the form of the Soundburger.
The Soundburger.
The Soundburger.
The Soundburger.
You gotta understand this. I'm gonna explain this to you because Allison's laughing behind the camera right now. So the
Eventually
Soundburger.
we gotta get an Allison cam. We were trying to get a Colt cam. We need to get an Allison. cam.
We had a Colt cam for a while.
We have the camera. We just
Haven't set it up.
I
to
need
get
a camera that works on HDMI.
Yeah. So Audio Technica is bringing back the Soundburger. If you've ever seen the Soundburger before,
I have.
it's nothing but a record player in the form of a tube, sort of thing.
It's a clamp.
Yeah, it's just
Clamps
a
on.
clamp. It clamps
Yeah,
down,
clamshell.
and then it basically just plays your record as the rest of the record kind of plays on the outside and just goes
Yeah.
around and around. That's all it does.
So yeah, it's a clamshell that wraps around, your record, and then the needle comes out and follows the record, like comes out of the side of this thing. So it kind of like works like this. It's cool. It's really cool. I have some memories of these things or some form of this being out there that is as your portable record player from when I was a kid. I can sort of remember something like this. And actually, what's cool about these clamshell things is they're direct drive, I think,
Mm-hmm.
and so the motor is actually right underneath the record, so it plays a lot
Yeah.
better. I'm pretty sure the direct drive.
I think so.
Um,
That's what I understood from it when I read
yeah,
it.
direct drive's the way to go. I'm enough of an audio nerd to say that out loud. Not an expert, just a nerd.
Yeah. Also, I think
That's cool.
they're talking about that you can connect to the Bluetooth speaker.
See, that's the thing. Having something to play a record and then be able to take it to the next level and hook it to a Bluetooth or whatever. That's cool. That's cool.
People are saying that they wish they could walk around with it on their belt like the Walkman.
Oh no.
No, you keep it flat.
You got to keep it flat. The record, it's a sensitive technology. So they had record players that mounted in cars that that was like underneath the dash.
yeah.
You could slide a record onto it. Or they had in the 1970s Lincoln Continentals. So cars bigger than the room we are currently in. It had giant bench seats. Okay.
Yeah.
Big bench seats. Like you get tired sliding over into the driver's seat if you had to move from the passenger. They had these middle fold down consoles.
Yeah.
And you would open that up,
There's a record player.
full size record player in the console. Could you imagine having enough room that you're sitting and you can like have your arms out? Okay. And there's a record player next to you, and the person next to you still can have their arms fully out, like doing the
fully
chicken
out.
dance.
Yeah.
If they wanted to. There's that much room. These things are gigantic, covered all in suede. You know, they were awesome. Someday I'll have to find a picture for you guys to see this record player and this Continental. They were awesome.
Yeah, so it's cool to see weird 80s technology start coming back, because I know
What do
the
you mean
80s
weird?
were-
What do you mean weird?
Yeah, totally. What do we
do you
mean
mean
by
weird?
weird? Yeah.
No,
No, there was
80s,
some-
the 80s
yeah.
was weird.
Yeah.
I was there.
Yes, the 80s came with some weird stuff
Oh yeah.
technologically.
Well, there were some of the coolest technology came out of the 80s, and some of the stuff you go, wow, why? Yeah, I was there for some of that. So yeah.
Mm.
So speaking of trying to get nostalgic,
Uh-oh.
I have
More nostalgia?
a car thing.
Oh,
I never do car
Ooh.
things really. So okay. So we know that Tesla and a lot of companies, are trying to do something to have sound with their EV cars since
Yeah.
they're not really making an engine sound. Okay, so we know that Ford came out with the Mustang.
Mhm.
Okay, and I've seen a couple on the road. They're kind
Yeah,
of
the
cool.
Mach-E's,
Looking.
yeah.
They're kind of cool looking. All right. So I'm going to try to pronounce the name. It's Borla, Borla.
Oh yeah,
Borla.
yeah. Yes.
Borla, which makes loud performance exhaust systems.
Mhm.
So they must be like the kind that you use for like tuners and stuff
Oh
like
yeah,
that.
oh yeah.
The ones that go.
The ones that you want to make loud are what you use
that
for
actually
those.
amplify the exhaust instead of muffle it. Okay, they're making a new exhaust system, exhaust in quotes,
Yeah,
exhaust in
exactly,
quotes,
exactly.
for
Exhaust
the
in
Mustang
quotes.
Mach-E, which is basically just speakers playing preloaded engine sounds you can control from an app. So could you imagine riding down the road, you reach over, you touch the app either on your console or on your phone, I want to sound like a tuner car. Say I have to make the sound effects, I'm having fun. Or how about this? You roll up and you get that classic Harley, like deep throat, like kind of sound.
Yeah.
So you're like rolling up in an EV, but it sounds like a Harley that's like,
Yeah.
old school, like monster looking Harley with that deep throaty sound, that classic Harley rattle.
Mhm.
That would be weird. Or my favorite, you can make it sound like a Formula One, but going by you with the Doppler effect. So you're just driving around, it's going.
Yeah. Exactly.
This is like the equivalent of when you have a trombone and you're making the car.
Yeah, exactly.
This is what I'm picturing.
Yeah, pretty much.
That is really fun.
Because there's that, and
So-
then there's the
oh my
possibility
gosh.
of making it sound like the boat cars from SpongeBob.
Oh yeah, could you imagine having like the sound?
Yeah.
I can imagine every single like cartoon car. So like Hanna-Barbera Wacky Races, they all had funny sounds on their
exactly.
car, or like Jabberjaw, or like
Oh yeah.
could you imagine having the Flintstones feet sound as you're like
Just as
driving
they're
along,
driving past people.
People get really creative.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I'm waiting for the TIE fighters.
Oh my gosh, I hadn't thought of TIE fighters. I would be the first one to have an EV that has a TIE fighter sound. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So, speed, yeah. Because I know in Teslas, you can actually, if you're near another Tesla, there's a menu option, and you can make a special horn sound,
Yeah.
and then they get a thing that pops up on their screen that says like "hi" and waves or something like that. I don't know exactly because I don't have a Tesla, but there's something you can do that like literally signals the other Tesla in front of you, like, "Hey, I'm behind you, hi."
Hey, I'm another Tesla.
I'm another
Speed.
Tesla. They call me Speed.
That's all you do. It's just a speed.
Yeah. and the Mustang EVs going by with a Harley sound. I don't know. I just got a kick out of this. I'm like,
Oh yeah.
we're putting a
Well,
lot of
like-
money into making a car sound like it's got an engine.
Well, weren't we talking about like the little Hyundai that's actually not an EV or
Yeah.
anything? It's actually like a hybrid or something.
yeah,
But it still emits like noise.
it's got to make
Like
noise.
you can make it like their race cars and stuff like that. You can
See,
make
I
it
could
sound
totally
like
do the Doppler effect race car thing. Sound.
Yeah.
Having a good time with that. Yes, this is my time to do all my voice sound effects on Talking Tech today.
This is his time to shine. With
This
his
is my
sound
time to
effects.
shine since I do all kinds of voices
With the
and
sound effects and everything.
Yeah, all my audio stuff that I do.
Speaking about sound
Yeah.
and cars,
Okay.
so Porsche makes some
Yes, we all know
interesting
Porsches,
stuff.
right, Allison? We all know Porsches.
Well, we all
we got
know
a couple laying around. She's got 2, I got 3.
we all know like Porsche runs out of ideas after a certain amount of time, and they just need to
The
get
car
rid of.
hasn't changed in
Yeah,
my lifetime.
not much at all.
Yeah.
But I'm saying like
I mean, I like them. Don't
they
get me wrong.
make so many,
Yeah.
but they have so many leftover parts. They have no idea what to do with it.
Okay.
So guess what they did?
What are they doing?
They made a $12,000 speaker out of a 992 GT3 exhaust.
That's a good investment.
Okay.
So Porsche Design has made some interesting.
Well, you're all about design. You would be kind of cool with this, right? Because you do cool. You can design in your room and set it up, and
Just-
decorate.
Just hang an exhaust on the side of.
Come on,
Allison's
just an exhaust
wall.
that's signing on the wall.
This is when you need the camera.
This is where we need the camera to get that face. Yeah. Like what?
Yeah, but basically at this point, it's called the Porsche 911 Soundboard 2.0.
So you can mount that under your TV, and it looks like basically the
Yes.
rear end of a Porsche
Comes with
without the body panels.
yes, it comes with Dolby Atmos. I don't know how they say it.
Adam.
Speed or how I don't remember how you speak it. Yeah, Atmos, whichever
Yeah.
it is, 2.12.
Hey.
So I know it's great. It's also a 300-watt soundbar with 4K
Yeah.
pass-through.
That's actually kind of nice.
Bluetooth 5.0.
That's kinda
Apple
nice,
Car,
isn't it?
Apple AirPlay 2.
See,
All right.
we'll get
Google
one. We'll get one for
Chromecast.
the office. How about that? We'll mount it on the wall. We'll get one of that. Just right above where Allison.
It
does
also
her
has
editing.
Spotify Connect.
Oh, there you
Boom,
go.
there you go.
She's in.
But
We're
this
gonna get
thing-
one mounted above Allison's desk in
This
the
thing
office.
weighs near 150 pounds.
Jeez, oh,
Easy.
jeez.
Deadlift.
So well, you have to figure out.
For
But
those
you
of
have,
us
you have
that
to
are
understand.
athletic,
You have to understand. You have to mount this 150-pound exhaust on a wall somewhere.
yeah, I know. The wall's gonna be able to hold it.
Or it's gonna be like one of those people that just like lay it on the side of their wall, like on
Yeah.
the floor, sort of thing.
I'm just laying this down on the floor here. I'm
Exactly.
not gonna bother putting it up. I'm not having it. I'm not having
Yeah,
it.
but again, if you're interested, $12,000,
well,
and they start shipping
why
on
not?
January 1st of
I'll
2023.
get 2 or 3 of them because I get
We have the money laying around, right?
yeah.
Somewhere. It's all in our bank accounts and underneath our mattresses. And
Yes,
things.
yes.
It's obviously there somewhere. Nah.
I'm a high school student. I don't have that kind of money.
Yeah, we're all. You're a high school student. I'm a parent. We got nothing. We got nothing.
No, I got nothing either. I don't know what you guys talk about.
All right, you guys ready? You
Yes.
guys ready for something?
What
fun?
is this one though?
I gotta go space.
Okay, you
I
got to
always
do your space. You got to do your space story.
Okay, you guys ready? So 1.9 billion years ago, a dying star collapsed, exploding into a powerful burst of gamma rays, which
Okay.
is basically what happens when a star collapses. It sends out huge amounts of gamma rays
Yeah.
before it makes a black hole, okay? 1.9 billion years ago. Keep that in mind. So, October 9th, that 1 billion year light, gamma radiation hit Earth. Okay, now, because it was from a galaxy, sounds like Star Wars, a galaxy far, far away, so not within the Milky Way, okay, it hit us. And because it wasn't so close, it didn't fry us. Because ideally, if this happened in the Milky Way galaxy, we wouldn't be talking right now.
Yeah.
Because it would totally basically microwave us. Okay, to simplify it. But what it did, so when it hit us, aside from hurting some satellites, which every time I talk about space, I always say we broke some satellites again. It turbocharged the northern lights and the southern lights because it hit our ionosphere in a magnetic shield, which again sounds like Star Wars or Star Trek either. But it amped up the northern lights because all this gamma radiation hit all these ionized particles and lit them up. Now, what's interesting is, if it wasn't, like I said, if it was in our own galaxy, we would have been toast, literally toast. So this is what happens when stars die. They release all this gamma radiation. What I didn't realize is the way the radiation kind of hits and hits things. This is how we end up with certain types of metals, because the radiation causes some fusion to happen. And so metals become heavier and they become the next element.
Okay.
And so certain elements don't exist without these gamma ray bursts. So there would be elements on the periodic table that wouldn't exist without a gamma ray burst. I didn't realize that. I thought it was kind of cool. Like the death of a star creates all this new stuff, which I think is kind of cool, kind of poetic too. But yeah, I had to do something Star Start type, and I read this. So the other thing is, this was the brightest light. So technically, gamma rays is sort of light.
Yeah.
The brightest light in the history of recording, like with telescopes. The brightest light's ever been recorded. That's the other thing. So it was that powerful. 1.9 billion years ago, though, it started.
But it's not. Is it as bright as a flashbang?
Yeah, actually, it was the equivalent of a flashbang.
It's more of a flashbang.
It was a big flash. It was like a solar. It was like a
the
interstellar
solar
flashbang.
flashbang.
Interstellar flashbang. Solar flashbang. We need to copyright or trademark that. Solar flashbang. That'll be our next podcast. Welcome to Solar Flashbang. So, all right, Charlie.
So we're coming back
we
down
talked
to Earth
about
here.
coming back down to, or sort of.
Sort
Well, we
of.
were talking about this story before like the last Talking Tech, I think, but we didn't actually mention.
I think we mentioned it. Well, no, this was something that I found. I think literally the day after.
Yeah, I think we were talking about it like just after Talking Tech.
So everyone knows the new iPhone 14 just came out. What, a few weeks ago, or a month ago, maybe?
No,
I
about
don't
a month
remember.
ago or so.
However
Yeah.
long ago.
Yeah, not
So-
recently.
So it has that crash detection system on it.
Mhm.
We're supposed to say, "Hey, you're in a car crash. I'm going to call the ambulance for you or the
Like
police for
OnStar
you."
is supposed to
Yeah.
do. You've crashed into something. Should I call the police?
And then they give you like a timer of countdown.
Yeah.
Let's say people were having some fun at an amusement park.
Well, you're an amusement park.
Yes, exactly. I'm
enthusiast.
an amusement park guy. Imagine every time someone went to an amusement park, that emergency call went out to the closest dispatch center and sent them to that amusement park,
Oh my gosh.
thinking that they were in
a
a car accident.
because you're messing with the gyros and all that stuff.
You're on a swinging one, or you're on one of the ones that just stop and
Yeah.
cut you off hard, right?
A power tower or whatever.
Exactly.
Or
You're
Demon
doing
Drop or
power
something like
tower,
that.
you're doing like a coaster that just has a really
Yeah.
hard break, or like a super
Any
rough
coaster.
loop,
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah, it was
Your car is flipped over 4,000
The-
times because you've done a corkscrew.
the funniest part is this happened at Kings Island in Mason, Ohio.
Oh, really?
So this was like 4 times
wow.
emergency services were called to Kings Island, and they were like, just so you know, we're fine.
Just
We
so
just
we
couldn't-
know.
But you can't
we're
just
not
you can't
dead.
just pull your phone out in the middle of the coaster.
because it's gone. Then.
Well,
Yeah.
that and you can get kicked out of the park for having your phone out on a coaster.
for people
by
trying to
policy,
take
yep.
movies and
To do ride POVs.
movies and stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can get kicked out of the park for doing stuff like that.
That was dangerous. You can hurt
Well, it
someone.
is, but you also, phone goes flying. They're not responsible for the phone getting
course
lost
not.
anyway. So at this point, you can't just pull out your phone in the middle of the coaster and say deny like the call to emergency
Yeah, yeah,
services.
yeah.
So basically, at this point, you just have to turn off that emergency, that really fun, a really cool, emergency service thing, just so that
They
you
need a
can ride
roller coaster
coasters.
mode instead of airplane mode.
Yeah.
It's roller coaster mode. I'm not dying. I'm just
Or
for
make
me,
it like a do not disturb switch.
for me. I could be dying because I don't do well on roller coasters. But
just make it like a do not disturb.
yeah,
mode,
pretty much
Like just do
D&D,
that,
yeah.
and then do like what how was it, like the sign in thing? Like you don't have to put in your PIN or anything
Yeah,
when you're
yeah,
in a certain area. Do that.
yeah.
But with partner with amusement park brands.
Yeah.
And so that they can map out the area.
You should be able to geolocate yourself and say, okay, here is a geo border,
Yeah.
and if the phone is receiving
Anything
weird
outside of this.
gyro information,
Yes.
just ignore it. Just ignore it.
Yes.
I mean,
Ignore
that's easy enough.
the
It's the same way like on like a child's phone, I can set like zones and say, okay, this child, this young person can't go beyond this zone, otherwise I get a tag message that says, hey, they drove out of Madison or wherever.
the phone went too far, watch out.
Yeah.
Sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, for the most part, I'm just like, good thing I don't have one.
Yeah.
And I don't have the emergency thing set up
Yeah.
to where it was calling stuff
Yeah.
like that. Because that would be annoying. Like you get called to the front of the park or something like that. Like, hey, your phone just went off because they called emergency services. Come pay the bill.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Why do you take your phone with you? Wouldn't it fall out of your pocket? Hey, we got a question. Thank you. Thank
Well,
you for getting a question.
You can take your phone on the coasters as long as you have I'm the guy that wears cargo shorts, so I have the cargo short pockets, okay,
Yeah,
with the zippers and everything.
yeah, exactly.
Okay,
That's why I have mine.
that's what you do when
Yeah.
you're wearing that kind of stuff and
I
going
mean.
to
I
parks.
got my dad
Or-
dad pants.
Or they at least allow you to wear fanny packs as long as they're strapped. As long as it's connected or strapped to you, you are fine.
See, women, we don't have these kind of options.
Well, the
We
fanny
don't
packs,
have the
though.
fanny pack, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like we don't have.
Yeah, I don't understand why women's
Yeah,
clothes don't have pockets. I don't.
That'd be a tech update if that ever happened.
Yes, exactly.
That's not
It's
technology, but I feel like it's
no, that is a huge amount of technology. Yes.
It's-
Yeah,
Think about
Allison,
it.
Allison.
Think about it, Allison.
You know, pioneers.
Everything-
Women's pants with real pockets.
Everything that has been invented is a
That
technology.
is true.
Yeah, everything.
I'm thinking computer technology.
Nah, it's all tech.
Things like
We talk
this.
about cars and stuff.
We do talk
Pants are
about
technology.
that.
I don't know. When I got my kilt with women's clothes do have pockets.
Not enough. Not big enough.
Like
Not
they,
enough.
like they have I will admit they do have pockets, but they're not big enough for things.
Yeah. I don't know. My first kilt that I had with pockets, I didn't realize how awesome it was. You know, I could put my phone in a pocket, and
There's no reason for fanny packs.
to come in.
Okay,
Unless you're Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
No.
He is the dude who can make that fanny pack awesome. His old picture of him,
Okay.
you know, the one that Kevin Hart makes fun of all the time,
Yes.
you know, with the gold chain, and
Now see,
Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
they sell the fanny packs in the park for you to use.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't realize that.
They want you
Oh my
to buy
gosh.
them because they're the only other way that you can go on these rides without just holding the phone and stuff in your hand.
Yeah.
Because everything at those parks, you need to have it strapped to your head
Well, I can imagine.
or any part of your body.
Because or you have a me with you that can only ride certain types of rides.
Yes.
So like, you know, oh, we're going on something that corkscrews or spins. Here, hand everything to Sean because he's not going on that.
Now see, like we've given in. Most of my friends want to ride everything, so like
I'm not gonna spend my day
Okay, but here's the thing:
unhappy.
it's only what $2 for an hour for a locker. I think at those parks now.
Yeah.
It's still crazy. Don't get me wrong.
$20 for an all-day locker.
Yeah, but you pay that much for an all day. You just leave your stuff in there. You come back as long as you have the
See, my only
code.
concern about like lockers at these parks and stuff is that they're not temperature controlled, and some of them can get awful hot,
They can.
and you can
Most
fry
of
your
them,
phone.
most of them nowadays are shaded.
Oh, okay.
So there none of
It's
them.
been a while since I've
yeah,
been to.
but I
City
mean,
Point or
I
anything like
can
that.
I can still see your point because like sometimes there are facing sun.
Yeah.
Which that is
Fry your
possible.
phone.
Yeah, fry your
Yeah.
phone. But for the most part, those lockers really don't do. They're pretty shaded for the most part.
So we got a pro fanny pack and a contra fanny pack.
Ooh.
They're coming back in style, says Patricia. We'll see how this all goes. I like I said, The Rock can make the fanny pack
Exactly.
awesome. I've seen it.
Exactly.
The Rock, though. There's
What's
a-
that?
Not everyone's The Rock.
Well, I sure as heck am not.
Same here.
It's not happening. Not happening. Okay.
Yeah,
So-
I'll pull the dad cargo shorts whenever I go to those places.
I've been dad cargo
That's
shooting
it.
before
That's
being
it.
qualified as a dad, but yeah. So, by the way, feel free to always ask us questions during our chime in. We love it when we're doing this. So, thank you all for has been chiming in. So keep on going. We
Also,
love it.
if you're new, you should understand that we rant a lot.
Yes, we do.
Sometimes we go off on topics for way too long.
Yes, lots and lots of tangents.
So if you want us to stop, you can also tell us that in chat, and we will probably stop.
Yeah, or there
I
was
say
a-
probably.
So I think all of us saw this story, this recent video. It's become a meme now.
Oh no,
This is the saddest thing in the world for
it
me.
is.
So, and you might have seen this as well, but this is something to really consider. So, a food delivery robot was on its way to
Mhm.
deliver somewhere and got stuck on train tracks
He was doing
and got run over by
he
a
was
train.
doing his little job, and then he got
doing
it.
his little job. He was doing good. He was,
He was
doing
doing
good.
he was doing his good little job, and then all of a sudden, train.
Flop, 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 train. And it was the saddest thing in the whole world. I'm sorry, the train just like crushed it. And then the battery caught on fire because it's a lithium battery.
And
So
then-
there's all these flames shooting out.
But also, we don't acknowledge that the guy, or this person, whoever it was, also lost out on their food.
Yeah,
order.
that's the part that's also sad. It's like literally your deliver food is not happening.
just
How sad is that?
Just-
the poor
just
robot sent you a
imagine-
message said, "I died en route trying to bring you your Starbucks."
just imagine if it knew what it got hit by. So it's just like it sends you a message. Hey, I'm sorry, your food's not coming. I got hit by a train.
Well, I've seen the ones where it's like cut off perfectly, so it doesn't. It's like the split second before it hits the
Hits the train,
before it
yeah.
hits the train, and I'm like, oh.
But it's the saddest thing ever. It's as bad as the security robot in the mall that fell into the mall fountain.
Yeah.
You know.
See, I find it kind of funny.
Well, there's some humor in it, but there's also some sadness to these poor little happy little robots getting run over by trains and whatever.
I just see
But-
an inanimate object, a piece of metal that got hit by a train, and I think it's funny.
Well, there's a little bit.
Well, there's that.
We're
There's that thought.
we're not disavowing that one as fun. But to think about it now, more and more of these autonomous delivery vehicles and stuff are going to be out there. So, if you think about it, train gates are designed to stop a car or a person.
Do we need little tiny
That's-
like delivery robot?
You're totally going where I'm
gates?
at. Little tiny gates that come down.
Here's the thing: there's like the tracks that they showed. Okay, they don't have gates.
No, those ones
These
are
are
just
the
regular,
ones that are
wig-wag
in the middle of the
blinkers.
street,
Yeah, wig blinkers.
and like you just have to know if you see a train, you got to stop.
yeah.
And that's something where I think maybe it's just code time. Maybe it's time to go in there and be like,
Have a
you
little-
need to stop here
Yeah.
and
If you
make
see
sure.
blinky blinkies,
Yes.
stop, because the blinky blinkies mean train
But
coming.
some of them don't even have blinky blinkies.
Did they still have to pay for the food? No one knows. No one knows.
There could be a possibility they got refunded, but we
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah, we don't know. We don't know.
I think Allison's trying to figure this out right now.
Allison's doing our research behind the desk there. She's currently our not only our editor and co-presenter, but also our researcher. You're making my library heart swell 2 sizes bigger than usual.
Thank you.
All right. But yeah, I'm kind of sad about it. But like, I'm thinking, what are we gonna have to do? Because think about how many more of these autonomous vehicles are. I can remember being at Delphi Electric when it was still operational, and they had tons of robots going through, but they had little safety areas,
Mhm.
and you pretty much knew, like, don't step in these safety areas because the robots will hit you.
Yeah.
It was made very clear to all of us visiting, like, do not go in here. They will hit you.
Mhm.
They don't care. And I know some of my friends who work at some of the Amazon places say those robots don't care either.
Now see, when you mentioned the Amazon, I remember the Amazon episode of South Park.
Oh my. Yes.
With the robots.
Yeah, we're
And
gonna
everything
we'll get in
else.
trouble on that one.
I know,
'Cause it's
but
South Park.
still,
But I know what
It's
you're talking
like-
about. I watched it.
it's like that episode.
Yeah.
That's what,
Yep.
that's what I imagine if you stepped in the line.
So what else you got? What
Oh,
else
let's
do you
see. So, more Samsung phone batteries are swelling up again.
got? Oh,
I know.
I have a Samsung.
I kind of look over at your phone, I get
Yeah.
sad,
I know.
and then I look over at Joe's phone, I get sad.
I love my Samsung though.
Well,
my
it's not
baby.
necessarily like they're. It's not like the Note 7 where they were just
Yeah,
exploding.
the Note 7 was scary.
These
That
ones,
almost swore me off for a while.
but these Samsungs are just like the battery's expanding because it either hasn't been charged or it's been overcharged,
Okay.
and that's mainly what it is. And it's like Samsung's like, just if it expands, you can either get it replaced or send it to a care center,
Get it
get it
going.
worked on, because if you can't just leave your phone battery like that. That's basically all it is.
Mm-hmm.
But I do understand where people are coming from, where they're frustrated with this because Note 7,
Mm-hmm.
they're expecting it to be like that. It's not gonna be like that.
Not terrifying.
It's gonna be over time. If you
Mhm.
don't use it or if you overcharge it, it's gonna
Mhm.
do the natural battery expansion if you
Mhm.
don't take care of the battery correctly.
Yeah.
Which, to be honest, I don't take care of my batteries correctly ever. But
I'm better with my batteries for my phone and stuff, and I'm terrible with tool batteries. Like drill batteries and
Yeah.
stuff. In fact, I got to remember to pull some drill batteries out of my car as the temperature's starting to change. I'm terrible with drill batteries. I'm awful.
yeah, well, I mean, you can't win them all.
No,
Can't
you
win 'em all.
No, you can't.
Never can.
No, you can't.
You always forget about that one battery that's in the bottom corner of the tool bench, and then you come back out and you're like, oh, I'm down another
Oh.
battery, because that's the battery you are looking for when you're trying to work on
Always is.
something.
It's a good one too.
Yeah,
it's
it's the
always
good
a
one.
good one.
It's the good one that
There's
you
always a
leave.
lame one, and there's a good one. And there's a good one.
Yes. Yes. So be.
Hey, thanks for
be
everybody
warned.
chatting. Keep chatting.
Yes. So if anyone that has a Samsung, just make sure.
Yeah.
Just keep eye on your
Just
phone.
keep on your battery.
I mean-
if your phone has any kind of bulges here,
Mhm.
Change it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So but don't be like checking it every 5 minutes, because a battery ain't gonna expand that fast.
Yeah, it's not going to explode.
It takes
directly on
like
you.
a
Yeah,
few
it's not
days
that
and
scary.
a few weeks to even start expanding. So, or at least noticeable expansion. It's fine.
Yeah.
You will be fine.
We'll all be fine. All right. So I'm going to keep talking about this because I just find it kind of crazy. 500 light-equipped drones are in the air probably as we speak. A
Like over our
giant
heads?
advertisement in New York
Oh.
City for Candy Crush.
Yes.
500
Yes.
500 drones
Yes.
lit
Are
up.
you, okay, are you excited about the drones or the Candy Crush?
Oh,
Okay.
Candy Crush is amazing. That's all. That's all I have to say.
That's
Yep,
all. That's
yep.
all. She's done. She's done.
Well, I
Um,
mean,
So technically, actually, they launched them from New Jersey because there's a drone moratorium over New York, and I can see why. I've been through some of that. Tablet batteries as well. Yes, Margaret. Hey,
Yes.
Margaret. Yeah, Charlie. Charlie
yeah, I
helped her with
replaced
the battery,
it.
right?
Yes. I replaced it for her.
Yeah. But yeah, so 500. They're making candy, and there's a Candy Crush ad. It's happening, I think, as we speak, because it was supposed to be happening tonight. So probably over the river, over the river through the woods. No, over the river between New York and New Jersey. These 500 drones are with lights are making Candy Crush symbols and things. I don't play Candy Crush.
Well, I mean,
Allison, what's I mean I have a vague idea of the game, but like what's a common Candy Crush thing? Like what's their their thing?
Their whole like shtick is like their little like girl is like the mascot. She's
Uh-huh.
like the candy girl. That's like really.
So I wonder if they're making her face or something like that.
It could be that.
Yeah.
They could be like.
They could
could be
emulate. They could
gameplay.
emulate the game
It
as
could be
things
gameplay.
get wiped out.
It
Yeah,
could be like her little storyline. I'm pretty sure there's like a bad guy in it.
there has to be an
She's like-
antagonist.
She's like always
Yeah.
like trying to.
Yeah.
The plot incredible.
It's a plot-driven game, huh?
It is a plot.
Plot-driven game. How about that? Candy Crush, plot-driven game.
yes.
We have now learned something. You and I.
Now
we've
we
learned
now we
things.
understand why a lot of people play this game.
Yeah. They're in it for the plot. They're not in it for anything else. They're in it for the plot.
It's not like heavy plot, you know.
Really?
It's not implemented really. It's just it's implied that
It's there. It's
and
there.
Every once in a while, you'll see like, oh hey, here's an extra hard level because the bad guy put it there.
Threw it at you, yeah.
Yeah. but
Just-
that's about it.
Just remember, I'm of the Atari age where like,
Those are also fun.
but like they had, what's your plot for Space Invaders? Well, it's Space Invaders. But like, what's
Yeah.
happening? It's Space Invaders.
Space.
Just play it, kid. Just play it, kid. It goes
Space.
pew pew.
Yeah.
Or E.T. The E.T. game had no
We don't-
plot.
Sean, we don't talk about ET.
We don't talk
know
about
this.
We
We
don't
don't
talk
talk about
ET.
ET.
We don't talk about E.T. or Bruno.
Yes. Yes.
I had to slip that one in there.
Yes, you had to. You
Yep.
had to.
All right. So what do you got, Charlie?
I like things catching on fire clearly today because this next story is
You
even
are
worse.
a Boy Scout after
Yeah,
all. or
yes,
an Eagle Scout
I do
specifically.
like
Yep.
sharp things, explosions, and fire.
Yep.
I guess the explosions and fire kind of go together, but still,
Usually.
yeah, usually
Usually.
do. But what fascinates me is that this is something brand new that just came out not even 2 weeks ago. And
Oh, we
things
were
are
talking
catching
about
on
this.
fire. Yes, so
Oh,
NVIDIA
yeah.
came out with new graphics cards just the other few weeks ago, something
Yay,
like that.
new graphics
The
cards.
4090s.
Yay.
They are a good 600 watts of power.
Yeah. Whoa.
Yeah, it's 600 watts.
Cool.
Yeah. You're not buying this off of just the family home PC and plugging it in anymore. It's
Not only
You-
am I playing my game, I'm making a toasted cheese
Yeah.
sandwich over the heat sink.
trust me, I just bought a new one, and oh my gosh, it's literally nothing but a brand new oven in my room 90% of the time. It's crazy.
So Charlie's parents are going to shut all the heat vents into his room, and he's going to heat himself.
well, the funny part is that my computer's not even in my room. It's downstairs behind the kitchen. So the heat, you don't even know it's there half the time.
so it's like
you
basically
think it's just the kitchen heat.
So basically, what you're telling me is it's like having a wood stove in your house, and your PC is now heating the house for you.
Oh, my dad my dad intentionally just shuts the vents
The
in that
registers?
room
Yeah.
just because he thinks it produces that much heat, and I'm like, it doesn't spread that well.
Well, my mother did that in my room, but I had like 40 PCs at one point
Well,
in my
yeah.
room when I lived at home.
I only have one.
I had a problem. I had a problem.
Yes, but basically, there's 2 Reddit users that have had the issue with the
Mhm.
new power connector that came with
Yeah.
the thing
Yeah.
starting to just catch on fire and start melting both the card and the connector.
Especially how much
And
those
the cable.
how much those cards cost.
Yeah,
No.
this
No.
card, understand, will set you back about somewhere around almost $2,000.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
This
Yeah,
is top of the line card from someone that is known for their graphics power,
no. Yeah.
and things are catching on fire.
Yeah. No.
It's just I just imagine I just want to see the world on fire, and that's just what's playing in my head while everything just happens.
By the way, I'm enjoying because we do closed caption our videos, and my Midwestern, my Yano, is really fun to watch in closed captioning. As a tangent.
Yeah, but like there are pictures.
I'm looking at this picture,
but like
my
the,
gosh,
like the entire connector here is melted.
yeah.
Wow. I don't have it plugged in this time.
Yeah, we forgot to plug in.
It's fine.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
Take my
We'll
word
figure out
for
some
it.
way. Yeah, and then like there's the connector,
Yeah,
just gone.
it's a weird place for the connector.
It is, but it's like right underneath the sink. But all of them are because the
Yeah.
sinks are so big
The
nowadays.
sinks are the whole
Because
thing.
these things produce so much heat nowadays. It's
Yep.
it's absurd.
Okay, so
So we're gonna start. Are we gonna stop talking about fire?
no, I'm about ready to start talking about fire. I literally am.
Why would you need a graphics card that costs more than a new computer? Because people are crazy, but also in the fact of making 3D objects and rendering things anymore, making videos, processing photos, and everything else.
The
Graphics power is where you need to go for that stuff.
So more modern PCs now are set up in a way where they can distribute out the processing. So the graphics card is actually doing all of the graphics processing. It's not happening actually on the CPU whatsoever. It's happening on the graphics card CPU or the GPU. And so, when you're doing these high-end graphic intensive games, Crisis,
Crisis, or you're trying to run like 40 things of Adobe.
yeah, if you're doing a lot of photo
Exactly,
editing,
like
or,
photo
or-
editing and
or
everything
like
else,
some
or
really heavy-ended
Yeah.
DaVinci work,
Yeah.
you can split off because then the graphics card is doing the graphics work,
Mhm.
and you're still using your own memory because the graphics card has its own memory. You're using your own memory and processor to do other things on the PC,
Yes.
allowing you to kind of do division of labor. So split up where all the different jobs are. So that's kind of the point of having a high-end graphics card. And to be honest with you, the graphics cards, the $2,000 graphics card is probably going into a $6,000 or $7,000 or $8,000 computer in some cases.
Yep.
So like I did a gaming rig for someone as a custom job, probably 5-10 years ago.
Mhm.
So I think 5-10 years ago prices. But when I was done with the setup, it was a $6,000 gaming PC. Because it was a lot of expense in there. It was the first SSDs at that time and some of that stuff.
Because those were hundreds of dollars at one point.
hundreds of dollars at the time.
Nowadays that you
Yeah.
can find them for $50 online.
Yeah, easily. So that's kind of the reason for the heavy-ended graphics card. So, okay, you ready for more fire?
Fire. Okay.
Fire.
Okay, so we're gonna end off on fire.
Well, we won't end on fire.
Maybe.
So, the couple of different entities are working on solar arrays
Okay.
in space.
More space.
Yes, more space. I'm always got space. So
Space.
it's fire and space. Tech in space. And I've always wondered this. So we put up a solar array, and we live in Northeast Ohio. It's cloudy. That's one of the reasons why the Ravenna Arsenal is here, because back when planes had to visually see to drop bombs, it was so cloudy in Northeast Ohio, they felt that it was safe that enemy bombers who visually had to look at scopes of World War II stuff. That's why they located it here, because it was so cloudy in Northeast Ohio. So think about solar cells. We put up a solar array, it's cloudy. Now some solar radiation passes through the cloud and will charge the solar, but not a lot of it, okay? And it's limited and it can be affected, and snow and all that stuff. So what if we put the solar array in space? That's great. We can't have an extension cord down from space to our house, right?
Coming from space.
So how you transmit power in this instance is microwaves. So we have this solar array in space.
Wait, are we starting to talk about wireless power?
It's wireless power.
Oh boy.
It has been and the microwaves have been wireless power for years.
Mhm.
The problem is you don't want to get in front of it.
Well, exactly.
Because you get cooked. So I don't know how they're going to work that out. There may be a no-fly zone, a no-walk zone, but they're talking about building these giant solar arrays and then just funneling the power down with a concentrated microwave to a spot. Now, microwaves pass
okay.
through clouds without disrupting the clouds. So we're not going to be boiling the water in the clouds. It just passes through the clouds. A lot of radio and science. Right. Science. But yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. Because
Yes.
I've always wondered to myself, why can't we put up, because you guys know about space elevators. You guys know this? Allison, you ever heard of a space elevator? Okay.
Maybe?
So I'm going to tangent because it kind of goes in with this. So a
Yes.
space elevator is a really, really tall tower located on the surface of the Earth that goes up into space. And so instead of launching a rocket, you literally just lift the payload up into space in this giant elevator. So just imagine you're getting into the biggest Holiday Inn in the world, okay? And you're climbing into this Holiday Inn, and the elevator takes you to, instead of like the 4th floor, it takes you to near Earth orbit or Earth orbit. Now, these are all theoretical. They're talking about using carbon nanotubes to make them, but imagine, all these things are at the equator, okay? And so we use the centrifugal force of the Earth spinning and all that stuff to hold them out. I've always wondered if they could just put like a solar array on the equivalent of a space elevator and literally have an extension cord back to Earth. A carbon nanotube, carbon fiber extension cord back
And
to
you're
Earth.
staring at the moon like,
Yeah.
oh, look, the moon's great. Oh, there's the extension cable.
Yeah, someone's extension cable is hanging in front of my really good moon picture. These would all be located like Johannesburg and
That would
some
be-
weird places that are near the. I know Johannesburg isn't quite near the equator, but there's a reason for there
Yeah.
too, based on how the Earth spins.
Oh, yeah.
Because we're not a sphere. Remember that we're not a sphere. The Earth is
Egg.
squished a little bit. We're egg shaped
Yes.
because we bulge out at the equator and we get a little light at the top. Everyone thinks we're a ball. We're not a ball. So there's your spacey stuff.
Well,
again
we're
for
not
me.
we're not a perfect sphere.
Yeah, we're not a sphere.
We're just an oval.
We're kind of an eggy oval. Yeah, because we get a little bigger on whatever end is facing the sun and stuff. So how about you take us out? You take us out with your story because
All
we
right.
still got 2 minutes actually.
All right. So we all know the voice of Darth Vader.
We do.
Yes, James
Mr.
Earl
James
Jones.
Earl Jones.
You will never forget his voice in the Star Wars films ever.
Absolutely.
But let's say he retired,
Which he did.
which he did. How are we going to have James Earl Jones's voice as Darth Vader and later iterations of that time period in Star Wars? How do you think we're going to do it?
I'm gonna have to go with some computery stuff.
Yes, there's a lot of computery stuff that can do this.
Yes.
Thus, AI is taking over.
So it's a deep fake.
Basically,
Yeah.
deep fake
Real
voices.
deep because it's James Earl Jones.
Exactly. But we're only doing voices with this now. We're
Yeah.
not doing, it's not like an actual deep fake where we're taking the person's, well, we might occasionally,
Yeah.
but like we're just taking
See
out.
Luke and Leia,
Yeah.
and we'll see Luke
yeah.
and the Mandalorian.
Yes.
That was good.
Yes. But basically the idea is take James Earl Jones's voice.
Yeah, I was with you.
Make him record every single word in the English alphabet.
Is that what they're doing?
No.
Oh.
No.
Oh.
They're taking like documentaries he did,
Mhm.
all that kind of stuff. Like
So they're
anything he's
taking
done.
existing
Yes.
works and then extracting out his voice intonation and structure from those.
And they
those
tried-
and he's
they'll-
done a lot of
yeah.
stuff.
And they're gonna try to stitch it all together and make lines out of it.
Okay.
So that's the idea of it, at least at this current point. From what I understood from the article, that's what they're trying to do.
Oh yeah.
Because
mean-
they're doing a lot of that kind of stuff now.
There's some beauty that a character that you've been part of outlives yourself. You figure the original body of Darth Vader, David Prowse. David Prowse passed away maybe 4 or 5 years ago.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, I was supposed to meet him actually, but he couldn't fly to the United States because he had hip surgery and had complications, and so I missed out on meeting him. Yes, I mean the body, because there's been 3 or 4 actors within the body. Most recently, Hayden Christensen actually
Mhm.
was in the body of the Darth Vader suit. It's kind of interesting to see it outlive, but it's also kind of interesting because like theoretically, James Earl Jones could outlive himself and still participate in movies.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So I actually have some experience with this in a weird way.
Oh. All
Yeah.
right. Go ahead and give your
My little tangent,
Yes.
as I tend to go
More
on to.
tangents.
Go figure. A library system I used to work with had a auto call feature. that would
Oh wait, I
call-
think you were telling me about this.
would call like it'd be like Allison, you have a hold today. Okay. And your book is available. So it wouldn't say Allison because it would just say you have a hold. But what we did is we recorded certain sound bites of different staff members for the different libraries, and we'd have them record like all of the dates, exactly what you're saying, and like all of the stitching words, and whatever, and we would record all that. And the computer was smart enough to assemble based on how I labeled the files and create a file that said, and it was not too bad. It would say, you have a hold at the Kent Free Library today, October 22nd, 1990, whatever.
Yeah, whatever the date was.
Whatever to the 1990. And it will be available for the next 5 days. Please pick it up or call us at, and it was just a phone number.
Yeah, then
together.
pull out the phone number.
Yeah. And it was all these things. And it was kind of a pain in the backside to record because you had to take a little jumper wire that you had to make yourself
Oh yeah.
and jump and record in through the sound card into itself.
Oh no.
And it was physically jumpered. So every time I had to make a change to these files, I had to go in and open the PC up and hook this wire in manually onto these jumpers. I had to mark them, so I ended up writing with silver Sharpie on them to know what they were. But it was really cool to make this.
Oh yeah.
And it was a long time because I'd worked with a couple different staff members for each one of the libraries. So it was always the staff member from that library who got to record. So for Kent Free Library was a gentleman. He's now retired, but his name is Van Victoria. And Van had this wonderful, talking about James Earl Jones, Van had a very good speaking voice. So Van was fun to work with. We're still friends on Facebook. And he was fun to record, and he was the voice of the Kent Free Library. And we had nice people at the Reed Memorial Library and nice person from the Portage County District Library all record. Yeah, it was fun. It was fun.
Sounds like it.
Yeah. So hey, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching us. I enjoyed our little chats here. Thank you, everybody who participated in the chats, and everybody who watches us later. And don't forget, we're a podcast, so you can find us on all your podcasting platforms. So if you want to hear this whole thing or any of our talking text, and sometimes Allison was even in front of the screen, and some of our other friends have been in front of the screen. So thank you, Allison. Thank you, Charlie.
Yes.
So you guys want to say anything before we head out? Nope.
Merry Christmas. It's Christmas season.
Allison had to get that in. Now that we're in November, it's not Christmas season. So hey, thanks everybody. So all right. So see you on the interweb.